All right, Shalom. First and foremost, oh gosh, double honor to our apostles at Great Millstone that rule with honor and with diligence. Honestly, you brothers out there pushing truth and love and sincerity to wake up the elect. Peace be to the elect and their families, those that change according to the word, calling on the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. We say, peace be unto you. May the Lord have mercy on you in these evil times that we're living in. And, today, as you can see, I want to go into pretty much long suffering is a godly trait, and I'll try to breeze through this as fast as possible. But, you know, uh, um, in this present world, you know, in this present world, uh, uh, um, we've been pretty much taught to not suffer one another. You don't have to deal with one another. Um, um, you know, to render evil for evil, to to send people, give people the same energy that they give us. You know, and a lot of those worldly concepts we have to break when we come into the truth. A lot of those, worldly ideologies and concepts, you know, we have to break away from that when we come into the truth, because the scriptures don't tell us to do that, and we're supposed to follow what's written in the scriptures, and it can be hard, man. The majority of us lived a life of suffering for the good that we've done to people. We lived, a lot of us have lived a life of being wronged for doing right, and what happens is after a while you get fed up. You get fed up with not getting the same treatment as you're giving, and you develop these systems to minimize the suffering. Okay, we develop these systems to counteract the treatment that we're being given. When in most cases we're supposed to be long suffering, and instead of fighting tit for tat and trying to produce the same energy into another person that they produce, we should be trying to heal. No healing comes from producing the same energy as this person. This person is having a bad day. This person isn't in the mood to be nice today, and you pick up on it. So the answer to this person having a bad day and not being in the mood to be nice and talkative is, you know what, I'm gonna bring the same energy. And no healing comes from bringing the same energy. There has to be an opposite energy. There's a wise saying, in a true friendship, there's no 50-50. There's 100-100, because if you're 30% and I'm 50%, we don't have 100. But if you're 20% and I'm 100%, then we can make our way up to 100. So we find ourselves in this bind of not wanting to be vulnerable. this bind of not wanting to go outside of our comfort zone to help another, you know? And that's not good. That's not good, man. You know, because no healing comes from it. Um, sh- Shalom to all you brothers and sisters on the comment boards. Hope this is an edifying lesson. Let's get into it. This is Numbers 14 and 18. It says, "The Lord is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation." Okay, so the first trait that it told you about the Lord is he's long suffering. You know, now I want to look up that word long suffering in the Hebrew. It says long suffering, arak. It says long, patient, slow to anger. Okay? Slow to anger. You know? That's pretty much it on that. But the Lord is slow to anger. You know? And we ought to be the same way. Regardless of what we've dealt with in our lives that has made us, hardened us against this world. Sometimes those old traits that we developed when we were in the world, that's why the scriptures say, put off the old man and his deeds. Those old survival traits don't always work in the truth. Now, a lot of them do. Now, a lot of the survival traits that we gain from dealing with the world are spiritually correct, but a lot of them are not. And what happens is when you come into the truth with that same mind and you don't get results because you're supposed to become a new man. You're supposed to become a new creature. You know? Your durability, a huge reason why we suffer these afflictions is so we can become more durable. Now, we come from a nation of people that are pretty much all broken. And then for you to deal with Jake, you got to be patient, man. For us to deal with our people, you have to be truly patient, because sometimes you get tired. You get tired of dealing with Jake. You're getting that Jake is a goddamn demon spirit. And a lot of times you don't want to deal with him. But if there's anything that you can salvage in that situation, then you're supposed to put aside your own feelings and go outside of yourself to try to salvage that brother or that sister. I have an understanding that, yeah, we come into the truth to get away from niggas. But sometimes that don't mean you're not going to have to deal with your people. Sometimes you're going to have to deal with Jake, you know? This is Ephesians 4 and 1. I says, "I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love." Okay? It's that word again, long suffering, forbearing one another in love. It says, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. And that's another big word, peace. You know, very important. It's very important to have peace within yourself, but it's even more important to have peace, a level of peace when dealing with your people. Because the thing that we have over dealing with Jake is we understand why we're in this situation. And even dealing with brothers in the truth. Brothers in the truth are not going to always have a good day and be in a chipper spirit. Sometimes a brother be in a having a bad day, and his spirit ain't what you're used to. And instead of healing, Jake get offended. Instead of finding a solution, Jake get offended with the brother. The brother just having a bad day. You know, but we have to be patient, especially with one another. The brothers and sisters in the faith, especially with one another. That's something the world doesn't have. We must always remember that our people, we're called to love one another. You know? Verse 4, there is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. Okay? But I like this. This was the point, endeavoring to keep the unity of the spirit in the bond of peace. That's the goal. And if we can't keep the unity of the spirit and the bond of peace, then the spirit is going to start to do things. The Lord is going to start to move. It's something that you can't come against. And eventually the Lord's patience will start to get thin, waiting for you to get, Lord will send you all kind of clues, all kind of things. But if your heart is hardened and you can't receive those things, then the Lord will get angry and start to say, "Oh well, I can't use you. You're irreprovable. You're incorrectable. I can't use you. You can't grow to the next stage." So we have to be mindful that when what the Spirit is saying to us, we have to be mindful. A brother may say something, it may not rub you the right way, but if it's right is right. Right is right, and the Spirit don't always rub you in a way that feels cute, kind, and nice. Sometimes the Spirit will hit you, bring tears out your eyes. It's 1 Timothy 1:16. Howbeit for this cause I obtain mercy, that in me first Yahweh Mashiach might show forth all long suffering, for a pattern to them which should hereafter believe on him to life everlasting. Okay? So the Lord is showing us a pattern of long suffering and all the sins that we committed. If you think about it, you consider all the things that you've done, even before you were in the truth, up until now, to get you to this present moment. It took a lot of endurance and long suffering for the Lord to watch over us sinning all this time, knowing how sin makes him feel. It took a lot of patience, a lot of long suffering, a lot of enduring over the span of multiple lifetimes. But Jake, have one bad day with one another and want to cast each other off. Or have a grudging situation between brethren that lasts for fucking years. It ought not be so that brothers grudge for years and years in the truth. Eventually, the outcome should be some kind of peace. It has to be. For us, for all of us to be in the right spirit, we have to have some type of unity and peace. Okay? First Thessalonians 5 and 15. And you know, we all struggle with this one. See that none of you render evil for evil unto any man. You know, that's something you struggle with because somebody do you wrong, and knowing right and wrong, knowing what is against what the scriptures say. You know, a lot of times we want to judge people according to the scriptures, but these people don't care about the word of the Lord. So a lot of times you have to find yourselves backing away from certain situations where that spirit of warfare wants to creep up, and you want to fight. You know, because a lot of us reached a stage in our lives where you're like, you know what, this is it. I'm tired. Ain't nobody gonna get over on me no more. Ain't nobody gonna do me like this no more. Ain't nobody gonna treat me like that no more. I'm tired. I don't want to deal with it. I don't have to. Yeah, you have to. You have to, man, because the scriptures told you to. Somebody do you evil, the scriptures say what? First Thessalonians 5:15. See that none render evil for evil unto any man. Okay, somebody do you evil, the first thing in your mind is, hey, they do something back. You got to get them back. And when you do that, you know, when you do that, you first thing you're doing is you telling the Lord he ain't doing his job. I got to step in front of the Lord and handle this situation because they not gonna just do me like this. And a lot of times you step in front of the Lord on situations, and then the Lord just sit back and say, okay, since you got it, all right, we're gonna see how this work out for you. And you don't find the solution that you expected because you were presumptuous. You stepped in the way of instead of saying, you know what, yeah, I know this person did me wrong, and hey, it happens. You know what? Hey, call y'all bashmi shy, Lord. You know, if it's in your will to avenge me, allow it to be so, but I'm putting it in your hands so it don't destroy me, so it don't tear my spirit down. Because, we allow things to weigh on us instead of casting our cares on with that too. There's nothing wrong with admitting you have certain things that we struggle with. You have to, but the spirit again. No, that's not the way to handle it. You be wanting to, man. Sometimes you be wanting to get carnal. You be wanting to get all out carnal. But the spirit will jump in the way and say, no, you can't do that. And that's how you know that, hey, when you follow the spirit, that's how you know that you're being led correctly, because you say, you know what, you start to put your feelings to the side and say, you know what, yeah, I can't do that. And you just accept it. And it doesn't always feel good, but you have to accept it to move on. You have to find a way to put it behind you. I used to have this metaphor, if you will. It's hard to move forward in life if you're dragging a bunch of garbage with you. You're dragging these huge bags of garbage. It's stopping your progress. It's stopping your growth. It's stopping you from going forward. And that garbage I'm talking about is old weight, old grudges, old issues that you don't want to let go. But it's stopping you from progressing. It's stopping you from getting to the next level. It's stopping you from growing because you won't let these things go. You know? So we have to find a way in our spirits to let certain things go. Okay, that happened. Um, it didn't feel good. How can I make peace with this situation so it doesn't weigh on me and start to destroy me? Because a lot of people are being destroyed, and it's because they won't let things go. They haven't. You have a plan to do everything else, but let things go that are hurting you. You can go to the gym and work out, and you can run, and you can change your diet and do all of that. But stress is the number one killer out of all these things, man. So you can do all that other healing, but you could be unfruitful in your mental state. And if your mental state unfruitful, it becomes harder for you to help others. Kind of brothers going in on the comment boards. But shalom to all you, you elders, you brothers, you sisters on comment boards. Shalom. It says, see that none of you render evil for evil unto any man, but ever but ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men. You know, because the statement that's being made is, we waiting on the Lord. We don't got to do nothing. Oh yeah, we got to teach this word directly and correctly, and everything else is we waiting on the Lord. Of course you may have to rebuke your brother. If he going off in the scripture, you show him his fault. If he don't accept it, ain't no blood on your hands. You don't have to hold no grudge. You don't have to take on a certain energy if he don't accept it. That's on him. But that worldly device of, yeah, I gotta protect myself. You can't even make yourself wake up in the morning. How can you protect yourself? Where does protection come from? I gotta protect myself. I gotta look out for me because blah blah blah. And then you put yourself in the way of the Lord's hand moving, and then the Lord sits back and say, well, you wonder why you don't get delivered in a lot of situations, because you're taking the lead. If you get out the Lord's way and let him work, then situations will be worked out. But you always want to jump in there. I gotta do something about this. And then the Lord be like, okay, well, since you know it all, and then you get out there, you jump out there and you do something about it, but you don't get any results. You don't get any peace. You don't get any relief. Years ago, I did a video called Get Out the Lord's Way. You gotta let the Lord work, man. Okay, give it a well, if this situation ain't right, the Lord's gonna do something. But in the meantime, in the between time, hey, you have to be able to let it go and still be that you are for everybody else. Because the one thing we notice, like us in this body, one thing we notice if a brother's spirit is changed. And then that affects another brother. You not being yourself. A brother may need you to be you. He may need your spirit to help him through his situation, but if you allowing all these other situations to stop you from being who you are, you may be a brother that crack jokes or make everybody else, but if you get in that spirit, today I'm just gonna be mad. You get in that spirit, then everybody else gonna feel it, and it's gonna put a damper on everybody else's spirit. Because why? You holding on to things instead of putting it in the Lord's hands. So it's important, man. Hey, you gotta develop that, man. Because we're gonna need to put a lot more things in the near future in the Lord's hands. You know? So perfect that, man. Second Corinthians chapter chapter 6 and verse 3. Give no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed. It says, but in all things approving ourselves as the ministers of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, in much patience, in afflictions, in necessities, in distress. It says, in stripes, in imprisonment, in tumults, in labors, in watchings, in fastings. It says, by pureness, by pureness, by knowledge, by long suffering, by kindness, by the Holy Spirit, by love unfeigned. You know, love unfeigned. That's the hardest thing to find. One of the hardest things to find in this world is love unfeigned. You know, outside of this ministry, my soul find not. You know, but it's beautiful, man. The care that brothers have to comfort one another, man. This is something that's not of this world. You know, when the spirit of when the spirit of healing is flowing the right way, the truth is unmatched in love, man, and care for one another, man. So we can't allow Satan to come in and create a situation to steal away our mental state. Because when you're in a bad mood, your healing stops. The healing that you give to others and produce for others, it stops when your mood isn't in the right place. You know? So it's very important, man. It's very important, man. Like, you never know who's depending on you to be you. Who's looking forward. Hey, man, I had bad. I can't wait till I see this brother. I want to, and then the brother see you and you all pouting and mad. And then, like, his spirit falls. Because you haven't figured out how to cast your cares on the Lord. Proverbs 20:22. Say not thou, I will recompense evil, but wait on the Lord, and he shall save thee. Get out the Lord's way. Let him work, man. If you feel like you've been wronged, if you feel like a situation is weighing on you, that things are getting too heavy and you got to do something, pray, man. Pray to the Lord. Lord, hey, this situation is getting heavy. I need some help. You got to pray, man. You can't skip past prayer and start creating a fight back plan. Well, if next time you do this, I'm going to do this then. How about that? And then the Lord looking at you like, this, 2 steps back, like the brother said earlier. 1 step forward and 2 steps back. But if you say, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it, it might not be as big of a situation as my mind could make it. But if you allow Satan to take the reins, man, you'll be driven to destruction, man. You all stressed out now. After a while of being stressed out, now your body start messing you up. You allow everything to stress you out. Now your body is starting. Now you can't sleep at night. Now you're starting to get headaches, and you're starting to feel like you can't smile anymore. Now it just compounds itself. Not putting things in the Lord's hands becomes a situation that compounds itself and only gets worse. Cast your cares upon the Lord. Go on about. In the Apocrypha speaks about uh, 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 um, uh, what is that? Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can get it. What is it? So like you bear with me real quick. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 23. It says, love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. You know, you it's a bad thing when you feel empowered by anger. You feel like anger is empowering you to, man, that's a demon. You know, you feel like the anger that you hold on to is empowering you to fight back. Yeah, when I get mad, I can do and say things that I don't usually do and say. Why? Because that's a demon. You know what? You know these singers, they do all these rituals before they go on stage to invoke spirits. Allowing yourself to stay angry is invoking a demon instead of casting your cares on you. How about Shemi? I was shy, man. You know. Then next thing you know, then you start a wickedness starts to creep in. Now you're looking to get revenge. Now you're looking to, you know, to get your lick back. Now the Lord about to start passing out licks. You know? So don't create a situation where, don't create a situation where, you can potentially add judgment to your life. You know? This is Ephesians 4 and 31. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speakings be put away from you with all malice. It says, and be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another. Yeah, you did this to me, now I got to get my lick back. And you swinging, you punching yourself in the spirit because you ain't listening to what the scripture said do. You only doing the damage to your own spirit. It's important to learn to let things go. It says, even as the Lord for Yahweh Shai's sake have forgiven you, even as the Most High for Yahweh Shai's sake forgiven you. You know, the Lord suffered a lot of things forgiving us. You want to talk about long suffering? You know, we have, all of us, even in this life, we have so much wickedness on us that the Lord has brought us to this present moment and forgiven us. Forgiveness, when you think about that, forgiveness shouldn't be hard at all. Because the Lord paid the ultimate price for forgiving our wicked asses. You know? So don't forget that, you know, certain situations arise, man. It's better, man, I find it, you know, easier every day. It's better to put it in the Lord's hands. Let the Lord deal with it. You know? Don't let it overtake your mind to where you consumed by a thing, man. To where your joy, your peace, all the fruits of the spirit are consumed because of an alt that you can't get over, because of some hidden grudge in your heart. You know? Or you had a bad day at work, you know, anything, your woman got on your nerves. You know? We gotta utilize the joy of the Lord to get over these things, man. And we gotta realize that there are other people depending on us. On the spirit that the Lord gave us, there's other people depending on us, man. And the important thing is you can't help nobody if you can't help yourself. When you feeling good, you can't make nobody feel good. But you know what you can do? You can make other people hurt. Because you're not who they expected you, who they needed in that moment. Because you're consumed by your own, grief. Yeah, it's burdensome. It's grievous. But grief is something that I handle better on my own time. When I'm with the brotherhoods, I put all that shit. I leave all that shit at the house. You know, I have certain brothers that I talk to when I'm dealing with heavy things. But when I'm with the brotherhood, I know the brotherhood. The energy that I bring to the brotherhood, it affects them in a certain way. If I'm bringing negative energy, brothers, we love one another, so we're gonna feel that energy, and then we're gonna have negative energy. And then we're gonna be stressed, and then man, it happens, man. This is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 13. It says, "Separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed to thy friends. A faithful friend is a strong defense." Okay, a faithful friend. Brothers, we're in this truth. We're more than brothers, but we're friends. We have brothers that ain't in the truth, but they not our friends. They Israelites, of course, but they're not our friends because they're in the world, man. They're not of the truth. We have friends that are not in the truth because because there's something about their spirit that resonates with it. You got friends of the world, but you got brothers in the world that are not friends. You got people that in the world that you would never go to a certain extent with. Nah, I ain't. Nah. Mm-mm. No, you funny, you my dude, but I'm not gonna hang out with you. We work friends and all that, but nah, I'm not going. It says, "A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such an one hath found a treasure." And this is important, especially in the brotherhood, man. Like, especially when, sometimes we around each other all the time. Sometimes we get on each other's nerves, but that shouldn't last a super long time. Eventually, there's got to be peace in situations. A brother got on your nerves 3 years ago. That shouldn't exist. Eventually, you got to let things go, man. It says, "Nothing does countervail a faithful friend." I looked up that word, countervail. It says to be worth as much as, also to prevail against, to resist with equal force. It says to be effective against, be comparable to. It says nothing shall prevail against a faithful friend. You know? Salakia. Nothing doeth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. So the faithful friend is the medicine of life. And they that fear the Lord shall find him. You know, hey, we found this brotherhood. And this brotherhood is a precious thing. You know? And we have to all be accountable in ourselves that we're not bringing bad energy into the brotherhood. You know? And if you're so caught up, you know, yeah, it's hell, it's suffering. I get it, you know? But there's, at the end of this suffering, there's salvation, and it's coming fast. You know? We see that this world is on a decline. The Lord is moving expeditiously right now. It says, a faithful friend is a medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find them. Whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright. Okay? So, you know, amongst the brothers, yeah, we get on each other's nerves sometimes, but, you know, you got to fix that shit. You both doing the work, you both in the truth, you both saluting one another, shalom, Yahweh Shem Shabakatah. But that's a blessing, but the scriptures say that blessing and cursing proceed out of thy mouth. On one hand, Yahweh Shem Shabakatah, but on the other hand, fuck that nigga, he ain't right. You know? You have those instances where the spirit alerts you to a man that ain't right. But, you know, in most cases, you still treat him like a brother until the spirit really reveals that, you know, because you know, like, you know, sometimes you love these brothers, you love these men, and you know, and then the spirit of reveal it to you, a man ain't right, but you say you know, you ignore the spirit and you love even deeper. And then the man falls out the truth, then you're hurt in your spirit. But the spirit tried to warn you, you know? You know, but, you know, as long as we out here pushing his word, teaching his word, we brothers, man. You know? If a man does a thing that's out of the spirit of righteousness, and it totally goes against what we believed, then eventually the spirit gonna put him, hey, the Lord gonna put him out of here. You know? It says, whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright, for as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. Okay? So, you know, this brotherhood, this bond that we have with one another, you know, is very, very important. It's very important, man. You know? And the things that come in our lives that affect us, it's important that, you know, we gotta realize, hey, this is not the end all be all. It's just something I'm dealing with right now. I'm not gonna let it destroy. I'm not gonna let it destroy me to the point where, you know, I'm bringing bad energy around the brotherhood. You know. So hopefully this is edifying. With that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah Kodash, double honors to our apostles, a great millstone. Honest to you brothers out there pushing his word. And you know, where's it at? Long suffering. You know? They have long suffering one to another, man. You know? May the Spirit continue to bless and keep you all. Shalom.